welcome to Easy English at Home YouTube channel. Today, I'm gonna teach you how to use passive voice. We often say things in two different ways, either in the active voice or the passive voice. If you are forming an active sentence, you start the sentence with the subject, the person who is doing the action, okay? Active voice. If you are forming a sentence in the passive voice, on the other hand, you start the sentence with the object because you want to emphasize the action, okay? So you want to make the action more important than the actor. Passive voice. You can as well use passive voice when you don't want to mention the person who did the action, or maybe the person is not known, right? So today, I'm gonna take you back in time, okay? Think about the important inventions because we're gonna talk about past passive voice, okay? So the first one, what's that? The telephone. Yes, who invented it? Tell me, who invented the first telephone? Alexander Graham Bell. Yes, so Alexander Graham Bell invented, yes, the first telephone. Cool. This is an example of active voice because I started the sentence with the subject, with the person who did it, okay? I have the subject here. And what did he do? He invented. I have the verb. What did he invent? He invented the first telephone. So here I have the object. Cool. If I want to form a passive voice and I want to emphasize the action, I start my sentence with the object. Okay? So I say the first telephone was, I choose was because this is singular, was invented, yes, by Alexander Graham Bell. So when I want to mention the person who did it, I need to use by, okay? This is an example of past passive form and it's a positive sentence. Let's write one more example. Look, the light bulb. Who invented the light bulb? The first light bulb? Thomas Edison, okay? So Thomas Edison invented, yes, the first light bulb. Cool. Now I want to emphasize the action over the actor, right? So I start my sentence with the object. I say the first light bulb was invented. If I don't want to mention the person, but I want to say the date, I can do that in 1879. If I want to say the person, I need to say by Thomas Edison. So here I formed a passive sentence in past tense, okay? And I started my sentence with the object, yes, and I used the auxiliary was, and I used the past participle form of the verb, okay? Past participle form. So let's come up with the general rule for passive voice, for past simple, okay? So here is the rule. I start my sentence with the object, yes, and depending on the object, I choose either was or were. Was for singular, were for plural. Then I always use the past participle form of the verb, okay? Past participle. Then what comes next? Yes? Object, was, were, past participle. If I want to mention the person who did it, I need to say by and agent. Cool. If I want to negate the sentence, I can simply say wasn't or weren't. If I want to ask a question, I move the auxiliary right to the beginning. I say, was the telephone invented by Alexander Bell? Yes, it was. When was it invented? Okay? Let's practice with past passive form further, okay? Past passive form. Cool. To do this exercise, we need to learn the difference between these 5 verbs. They are commonly confused. So let's have a look at them together to understand more. The word invent means to make something that has never existed before. So you make it for the first time. To design, on the other hand, means to plan and make something. To build means to make something by putting materials together. Okay? And to discover means to be the first person to find something. So you find something which is already there. Okay? You don't make it, you find it. And to create means to make something happen or exist. Yes? Okay, now I've got some information here about the inventions again, and we are practicing past passive form. Number 1, think about the first Apple computer and Steve Wozniak design and build. So let's form a passive sentence. What happened? What was designed and built by Steve Wozniak? The first Apple computer. Yes. Because this is singular, I need to say was. Okay. And what's our verb here? Design and build. Okay. So the first Apple computer was designed. Remember the past participle form of the verb? Designed and built. If I want to mention who did it, I need to say by, okay, Steve Wozniak. Okay, cool. Another example. This time we are thinking about the first plane, okay? The first airplane. Who invented it? The Wright brothers. Okay, but I want to make the invention more important, so I start my sentence by the first airplane. The first airplane. This is singular again, so I have to say was. My verb is to invent. Invented by Wright brothers. Cool. Number 3. Antibiotics. Alexander Fleming discovered. So he found something which was there in the nature. Okay, so let's start. Antibiotics, because this is plural, I need to say were discovered, yes, discovered by Alexander Fleming. Good. And the last one. This time we are looking into the internet. Yes? So the internet was created. Yes? The internet was created by Robert Kahn. Yes, and Winton Cerf. Okay, so we practiced past passive form here. We used was or were, and we didn't forget the past participle form of the verb. All our sentences started with the object, yes? The first Apple computer, the first airplane, antibiotics, the internet. Good job, everybody. Let's practice further with past passive questions, okay? I've got some questions here, but they're incomplete. I want you to work with me, complete the questions, and find the correct answer for each one. Ready? Let's do it together. So, now we're looking into Harry Potter books, plural. So I need to say, who were the Harry Potter books written by? We are writing the past participle form of the verb. Don't forget, this is irregular. Write, wrote, written. Okay, nice. So who were the Harry Potter books written by? J.K. Rowling, yes. So G is the correct answer to that. Nice. Question number 2. Where the Lord of the Rings, where was the Lord of the Rings filmed? Very nice. Where was it filmed? New Zealand. Yay! That's correct. Number 3. When the pyramids, plural again. So when were the pyramids built? When were they built? Do you know? Thousands of years ago. Yes. Nice. And what about the Harry Potter films this time? Yes? So because we have the plural again, were Harry Potter films directed by Steven Spielberg? Okay? Directed. Nice. So were they directed by him? No, they were not. They were actually directed by 4 different directors. Here we have Yates, we have Columbus, Cuarón, and Newell. Okay? Nice. Number 5. Who was Hamlet written by? Do you know? Of course, Shakespeare, right? So we have D here, Shakespeare. Nice. It was written by, we can say. Nice. Question number 6. When we are looking at what? World Wide Web. Okay, World Wide Web. So when was World Wide Web invented? When was it invented? It was invented in 1989. Okay, 1989. Cool. And who was it invented by? Who was it invented by? It was invented by Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Okay? Here we have F. Right, so here we practiced past passive form questions together. And we wrote were for plural ones, for plural objects. And we wrote was for the singular ones, because we're looking at the movie here. Okay? The same thing happened with this, and with this, and this. Let's have a look at today's keywords and phrases. We learned how and when to use past passive voice. We use it when the focus is on the object and when the actor is not important or known. Here we have the passive form structure. You start a sentence with an object, then you have was or were, and past participle form of the verb follows. If you want to mention the person who did it, then you have by plus agent. For example, Harry Potter books were written by J.K. Rowling. If you want to negate the sentence, then you need to say wasn't or weren't. For example, they weren't written by Shakespeare. If you want to form a question, then you need to start with either was or were. Then the object follows, and then the past participle form of the verb comes next. For example, were they written by J.K. Rowling? Yes, they were. If you want to form a WH question, then you need to start with the question word. And then was, were follows. Then the object is the next thing, and the past participle form of the verb. For example, when were the Harry Potter books written? We also learned some new words. Invent, design, build, discover, and create. Thank you for watching. You can find the practice files for this lesson on the link in description. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye!